My name is Rosa. I am 61 years old. I live alone in a small cottage on the rugged coast of Galicia, Spain. This house has been in my family for generations. I was born within these walls, I married here, and I raised my only child here. These rooms once echoed with laughter and footsteps, but now, silence fills every corner like a heavy fog. It's been 9 years since my husband, Javier, left this world. Since that day, the house has felt bigger, emptier. My days are quiet and predictable, dusting old furniture, reading faded letters, watering the flowers Javier once planted with such care. I avoid looking at his chair for too long. I can almost see him sitting there with a book in hand, smiling at me. Sometimes I touch his books, his old scarf, and my eyes sting with tears I try not to let fall. My son Daniel, my only child, lives far away, in Australia. He left when he was 20, chasing dreams, chasing a future. He studied engineering, found work, met a woman named Hannah, and built a life there. They have 2 daughters, my granddaughters' faces I know only from photographs. At first, Daniel called me often. He wrote long emails, even sent postcards from Sydney, describing his adventures. But slowly, the calls grew shorter. The emails stopped. His voice faded from my life like a distant song. Still, I waited. Every morning, I checked my phone, hoping for a message. I scrolled through old texts, pretending they were new. I kept all his childhood drawings in a folder under my bed, each one like a pressed flower from a time when love was simple. And every night, I prayed for him. Even when I felt forgotten, I prayed. Then, one quiet afternoon, something happened that changed everything. There was a knock on my door. No one ever knocked anymore. The mail was always dropped in the box. Visitors I had none. Slowly, with a strange mix of fear and hope, I opened the door. And there he was. Daniel. He stood silently, a suitcase by his side. His face was thinner than I remembered, shadows under his eyes. But to me, he was still my boy. Before I could speak, I pulled him into my arms, clutching him as if the years apart could melt away with one hug. I made tea and brought out almond biscuits I'd saved for special days. We sat in the kitchen, he at the same table where he once did his homework. He looked around and smiled softly. "Everything looks the same," he said. "Nothing changed," I replied. "Only got quieter. At first, we didn't talk much. There were too many unsaid words, too many years to bridge. But eventually, he began to speak. He told me life had been overwhelming. Work, family, responsibilities, they had swallowed his time, his thoughts. I listened, my heart aching with both love and longing. I didn't want to blame him. Life moves fast, I know. But oh, how I had waited for him. Then he said something I never expected. "Mom," he began, "you shouldn't live alone anymore. Come with me to Australia. Come live with us. The girls want to meet their grandmother. Our house has space. You'll have your own room, your own life, but with family." His words filled me with a storm of emotions. My eyes wandered around the house. These walls held my entire life. Every photograph, every chair, every tiny crack in the plaster had a story. Could I really leave it all yet? Daniel was my son, my only child. Hadn't I dreamed of being near him again? Maybe this was the answer to all my prayers. That night, I lay awake, memories flooding in the day Javier and I brought Daniel home from the hospital, his first steps across this very floor, his laughter echoing through these halls. Could I let go of all this? The next morning, Daniel spoke again. This house is old, Mom. Too far from help if something happens. It's time to move forward. We can sell it, use the money for your new life in Australia. His words pierced my heart, but I nodded slowly. Maybe he was right. Maybe this was a new beginning. The days that followed were a blur. We packed my things, little by little. I gave away furniture to neighbors, donated clothes to the church. I kept only a small suitcase, a few dresses, my prayer book, and Javier's scarf. Everything else I left behind. Daniel handled the papers. The house was sold. The money went to his account, for the move, he said. It all felt like a dream. One moment I was here, the next I was locking the door for the last time. I pressed my lips against the cool wall and whispered goodbye to Javier. At the airport, I felt nervous, clutching my ticket like a lifeline. Daniel wheeled my suitcase and guided me to a chair. The gate's far, he said. I'll get a wheelchair for you. Just wait here. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I watched him walk away. My heart felt light, full of hope. After so many years, we were together again. A new life awaited me. 5 minutes passed. 10. 20. I kept my eyes on the crowd, searching for his face. 30 minutes. My chest tightened. I asked a young woman at the counter if she'd seen my son. She shook her head gently. An officer noticed me sitting there, pale and trembling. He approached kindly. I told him everything. He asked for Daniel's name, a photo. I handed him the picture I carried in my wallet. He left for a few minutes. When he returned, his eyes were full of something I couldn't read. Señora, he said softly, your son boarded the flight. Alone. The words shattered me. I couldn't move. Couldn't speak. Daniel, my Daniel, had left me. I had sold everything, trusted him completely. And now, I was nothing but an old woman with a suitcase and a scarf. The officer asked gently, do you have anyone to call? No, I whispered. No one. He sighed, then said, come with me. You can't stay here. His name was Miguel. He drove me to his home, where his wife, Elena, welcomed me without hesitation. She wrapped me in a blanket, gave me tea, real tea, warm and fragrant. That night, they gave me their guest room. I cried silently into the pillow, clutching Javier's scarf. The next evening, I overheard Miguel whispering to Elena, his voice heavy. Flight Q78, it crashed. No survivors. The room spun. My breath caught. Daniel, gone. I didn't scream. I didn't speak. I only wept quietly, my heart breaking in a way I didn't know was possible. But life, strange as it is, gives us light when we least expect it. Miguel and Elena became my family. They gave me what my own son could not care: dignity, love. Slowly, I began to heal. I joined a community center. I taught cooking classes, shared stories, planted flowers in Elena's garden. One day, I bought a blue notebook with white stars. I began to write. Not for the world, for me. I wrote about love and loss, betrayal and kindness. About how I lost a son, and found a new life. Today, when I sit on the park bench with Miguel and Elena, watching the world move on, I realize something: not everything that breaks us destroys us. Some things break us open so light can come in. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment and share. More emotional and inspiring stories are coming soon.